YouTube, this still hungover obviously from last night's live stream. Cheers for joining in. So I did it. I put this is the Japanese Strat that I bought a couple of months ago. It had been painted mental with like acrylic paint. But I this is the one where I went to the guy's house and he said it was a Japanese one, and I was like, I played it and it was like, yeah, pretty much is a Japanese one. Okay, if I peel this sticker off the back. Peeled it off, made in Japan. Yay. So this one it's a Japanese neck, Japanese pickups and electrics. The body that it had was a Mexican fender though, because the guy wanted to change it over because the previous one was white. Oh, it would have been nice if it was white. But he's lost that body. I think he reckons he threw it out. Like, damn it. So this body is just one that I got actually. Someone donated a couple of guitars to me a few months ago. I'm afraid I've forgotten your name. I'm terrible with names. I can forget everyone's name. Again, and this Strat had a pointy headstock and really gaudy gold hardware on it. I don't really know what kind it is. I don't think it is. It's got the black shielding paint, and the thing which made me think it might be a Mexican, but the Mexican block actually sits just slightly proud of the body, so it's not. It's wood. So does tone wood make a difference? Who knows what kind of wood it is or anything like that. So yeah, so is it still a Japanese Strat? Sort of. I looked up the serial number on the back. It says STD57 on the back, which I think is a 57 profile, so it's a 7¼ inch radius. Actually very similar to my Japanese Strat. So I do have other guitars that are Japanese and stratocaster shaped, but these are actually Fenders, so hence they are actually Japanese Strats. So this one's got the rosewood neck on it. This one had no pickups when I got it. It had a scratch plate, like one of your buy from China for 15 quid scratch plates on it with all the cheapest stuff on it. So I've upgraded all this to, this is an original 75 Fender pickup. This is a gold lace sensor, and this was originally dimarzio, which I got in the neck position of one of Wayne's guitars, I think. A dimarzio stacked thing, but it didn't sound right in the bridge. I've since realised that it's the neck one, so that's probably why. This one actually has the bridge version of that in it, and the two original Japanese Strat pickups. I bought this pickup off eBay, and the guy said he took it out of a Fender Japan 1987 Strat when he first got it, so it's never been used. So this is a correct-ish pickup. This is a 90s guitar, 94 or something, 87 pickup. And after looking up the numbers on this, trying to work out, I wonder what date it is. If you type in the serial number, it goes up to somewhere between 84 and 91 or something like that. Actually, if you look on the end, it's actually written on it the 2nd of December 87. So it's an 87 neck. These are two 87 pickups. I've got an 87 bridge pickup in there, and I've got this dimarzio stack thing. So I'm thinking which of these to make original. I'm thinking of making this one kind of stock. Mind you, it's got the original bridge. It doesn't have the right block on the back. What's the back? It's stock. I'm thinking of having the two dimarzios and the lace sensor, selling the Fender, and having them either having one of the guitars with all the original pickups in it, basically with the 87 set. So I've just stuck this together just because the body for this was really badly painted, so I've scraped all the paint off, but he'd also tried to relic it by hitting it with a hammer or something, so it's got big dents in it, and it's been in the garage for months. I keep looking at it and just going, I was going to paint it yellow, but I quite like the colour of this. This is a sort of, I believe it's actually midnight blue, so it could be, my pal's got a Telecaster, which I think is this colour, so it could be a Squier body. Don't know. The neck that was on it wasn't from this guitar anyway, so it's an unknown element. So is it still a Strat? Playing through the orange TH30 knee pedals, and I haven't found the treble arm yet. I'll be easy to find one. I've got a feeling it was in my box of stuff, but I think I might have put it in another guitar at some point. So, but I'm pretty sure I can get a trem arm pretty easy. So currently untrimmed. bridge pickup, neck pickup. Put some drums on. Let's cover it both amps. Actually, that might actually, maybe sounds actually quite good. So there you go, playing through a guitar amp and a bass amp. I think it's one of those situations where basically more is more. Like if you play it through two amps, it sounds better than one amp. If you turn the volume up, it sounds better. Kind of works that way. Just in 4. I've not really done any setup on this. I just got it. I just stuck it together, and I've been too lazy to do a video today. Middle position. Position 2. Yes, it's definitely. When I was using the other dimarzio pickup in that guitar, the bridge pickup was just too quiet. This is obviously a bit beefier than these to make up for it. You can hear the difference in the middle pickup. Then in position 2, it's louder. Bridge pickup. Middle. Losing the beat a wee bit. Actually, that middle pickup's too low. That's what's that's maybe why the bridge in the neck seem quite loud. Adjusting shit on the fly. Better. Neck. Yeah, so seems to have worked fine. This neck, basically, I just put it straight on. There's no shimming, no fanning about. The bolt's all fitted. Bada bing, straight in. I'm actually wondering if it is. Oh, is it? I think it's a thin one. It is. So this is a thin bodied strap. That's why this is sticking out. It's not sticking out, it's just flush. I don't think you could put a plastic cover on it. This would rub on it. So it's a sort of... Now that I've noticed that, I know if not happened, now I'm looking down on it, I'm thinking, that's a thin, something thin. But it seems to work fine. And I've not damaged anything, I've still got it, so this might be staying as this just now until I actually fix up the Mexican body for it. I might try and get another body or something. I'm actually wondering if this is, saying it's a Squier. I wonder if it's... No, it can't be, can it? I was going to say this might be the exact same colour as the Squier Bullet Mustang, which means maybe it's a Squier Bullet Strat, because that would be slightly thinner. but I don't think this Bullit Strat has a trem on it, so maybe not. So I don't know what it is. Ultimately, I think it comes down to I don't think it really matters what the body's made of, really. If I measure, I'm just looking at this block here in the back. It is, I would say, 24mm thick from the body, and this one, which is thicker, is 29. So it's 5mm thinner than a standard Strat. A quarter of an inch doesn't really seem like an awful lot to make any difference. Maybe it's making the guitar feel a little bit sleeker. I think maybe the Roadstars like that as well. But the important thing, and I've maintained this, obviously you need tuners that work, you need a bridge that works, you need a really nice neck. The neck's the important bit. Great neck and average everything else can still be a great guitar. Average neck and great everything else is an average guitar. The neck is where it's at, and this one has it. Bridge pickup's really good actually. So I've not decided what to do with this yet. Basically I bought it because the price of it was like Japanese fender. It can't be a Japanese fender at that price. So technically it sort of was different body, different bridge. So it's got it had Mexican body, Mexican bridge. This scratch plate incidentally is actually off a guitar I bought in the Barras for a tenner, because it's tone plastic. So it's also not even, I've only got a couple of screws in it because the screws don't quite line up. Some of them did. So at least I can now get to play this. I wonder how. It really just depends how I get on with it over the next couple of weeks playing it. Whether it's staying on this annoyingly that I've just noticed thinner body. It's very obvious now. Well, see, I put these old 70s white strap locks on it, which I quite liked, or strap buttons, which I quite liked. I've also got my pal got a set of white non-friction is it tusk or something string trees, and I've got one white plastic string tree which I might put on there. On whichever one of these I decide to keep original. I think this will be the modded one, so that'll probably have get these two pickups in it, and this will get the lace sensor there and the other dimarzio in the neck. I used to hate Strats. I thought, well, who would want that horrible thin sound? But I think see, once you get a bit better in the guitar, I don't really think there's that many folk that start off with a Strat and, you know, just learning and really like it, unless you're maybe just playing the shadows or something. But not that the shadows are in any way easy. If you ever think, oh, shadows, that'll be dead easy, is it? Fuck. Definitely that one. It's when you start trying to play the Hank Marvin stuff, you realise how damn good he is at bending those strings. And if you just bend it, not absolutely 100% perfect, it sounds gash. So he wouldn't have had them. He only had the three pickups. He wouldn't have done the positions either. I'm playing it dry with no effects, no echo or reverb on it. Wee bit buzzy. I've got the action down really pretty low actually. I've got the action 1.5 mil, 1.25 mil, 1.5 mil. That's quite low. It's not choking out. It's just a little bit. And saying that, what I haven't done is I haven't used the radius gauge on it. So I think the outside two strings are probably right, and the ones in the middle are probably, they need to be a bit more like that. So if I dig out my radius gauge, I reckon this was a 7.25, didn't I? Not that set. That's the set of all the ones that you never use. This is the set of the ones inside. Rather than look through 10 of them every time, I would just get the one that is 7.25. You know, 9.5, 10, and 12 are the ones I would use. Just double check, make sure this is. I'm sure it is a 7.25. It is indeed. Yeah, so what I'm doing immediately now is I'm going to run over this. I'm too used to doing it by eye, doing the curvature thing, so I kind of just tend to do it for what looks right. Most guitars are like 10 or 12 inch radius, so that would be probably a 10 or a 12. I've just done it by eye to look at, whereas a 7.25 is a bit more like that. That's why the strings in the middle are a little bit. But it's nice and resonant. Very. You can feel it vibrating. Nice and. Yeah, so lots of proper videos coming up this week. I've been in the studio with Crankenhouse. It could be the last time we ever play. And we both played the Silver Grant, so I've got a video of two folk playing a Silver two folk playing those guitars, probably the first time in any band ever two folk have played those bands, unless someone did it in the shop when they were new in 1985. I went to Arran last week with Scott. I've got a big video we're going to do there. I'm going to take the Harley Benton, which I've not even looked at yet. I've literally played it for 2 seconds just to make sure it worked. I'm going to take it over to Scott and see what he thinks of it, because he was pure in turmoil with that last Harley Benton. What was it? He sent me a quote. He said, which I thought was a great thing, which might actually be the title of the video. It's like, yes, it looks almost exactly like a real guitar. It's like, yeah, something like that. That's not exactly. It was worded slightly better than that. But the whole thing about that Telecaster he had was, it did look almost like a real guitar. It almost looked like a guitar, whereas actually it wasn't a guitar. It was wood assembled with bits on it to make it look like a guitar rather than actually being that one. That was the cheapest one. I think it was 90 quid new or something. That is a Fusion Pro series with a spec sheet that you just wouldn't believe. It's got like stainless steel frets and a roasted maple neck, and it's got locking tuners and a graphite nut and Wilkinson trem and a maple top and a very, very, very high spec thing. I think that's 350 quid, 375. I've something like that. And then so we're gonna look at it and see if it's as badly put together as that other one, which it's not. Let's be honest, it's not like that one Scott had. It is a guitar. I'll give it that, because I played it. It's a guitar. That one he had didn't play. It's like it wasn't a guitar. Yeah. So I'm going to adjust the action this and then play this all afternoon and then decide whether this stays like this. Do I really need another Strat? Should I sell it as a Bitzer? It should be worth quite a lot. It's like the neck on it's like kind of as good a neck as you could get. It's like it's a Fuji Gen built neck, so it's like the same as some of my favourite guitars. The Roadster there, for example, has a Fuji Gen built neck from 1986. This neck's 1987, so it might have been made by the same person, just a year apart. And they obviously, Ibanez or Fuji Gen had the specs because they made Fender necks, and I think it's pretty much well accepted as truth and fact that in the 80s, the best Fenders you could get were these ones. Fender weren't particularly good in the 80s. That was when they were doing their sort of, I think they got better later on, but they didn't do very much of the whole idea of having a reissue guitar didn't really occur. It was the Japanese. The Fender JV were the first ever. Why are we making the 1981 Stratocaster when everyone raves about the 1957? Why don't we just make the 1957 one? Hence why these say STD 57 in the neck plate, because they were reissues. And now I think that's all Fender do. You know what I mean? There was also a year, I can't remember, was it 1986? There's a year in the 80s where Fender were moving plant from Fullerton or wherever it is they are, California, or they were getting the factory rebuilt. So there's a whole year where Fender Stratocasters were only made by Fender Japan. Rocking.